Welcome to Daily Papers, the podcast where we break down one interesting academic paper every day.
Today, we're looking at something that feels very current: young people using AI chatbots for mental health support. We've all heard of tools like ChatGPT, and it turns out a lot of young people are turning to them to talk about their feelings and well-being.
Which raises a huge question. These AIs are designed to do a lot of things, but are they really equipped to handle something as sensitive and complex as mental health? Are they helpful, or could they even be harmful?
That's exactly what a group of researchers from several universities, led by Kathleen Guan at Delft University of Technology, wanted to figure out. Their paper is called Lived Experience in Dialogue: Co-designing Personalization in Large Language Models to Support Youth Mental Well-Being.
Okay, let's break that title down. Large language models, or LLMs, is the technical term for the AI behind tools like ChatGPT. They're trained on vast amounts of text from the internet to predict the next word in a sentence, which is how they can hold a conversation.
But that training is also the problem. The internet is a messy place. An LLM doesn't know you personally. It doesn't know your background, your family situation, your daily struggles at school, or what makes you happy. The paper calls this your lived experience.
And without understanding that lived experience, an AI's advice can feel really generic or just completely miss the mark. A standard chatbot might offer a one-size-fits-all solution for anxiety. But anxiety for a teen worried about exams is completely different from anxiety for someone dealing with conflict at home.
Exactly. So the researchers said, instead of just building an AI for young people, let's build it with them. They used an approach called co-design, which means bringing the users into the creative process from the very beginning.
And they had a really clever way of doing it. First, they created what they call personas. Think of these as fictional character profiles. They made some initial ones based on data from surveys and youth help forums. They were like rough sketches.
But then came the most important step. They took these rough sketches into workshops with young people and basically asked, is this realistic? Does this feel like a real person you might know?
And the young people totally transformed them. They added all the details that make up a real life. They gave the personas hobbies, daily routines, specific family dynamics, even what social media they use. They turned the rough sketches into rich, detailed portraits grounded in real, lived experience.
Once they had these youth-created personas, they used them as conversation starters in interviews with parents and youth care workers. They'd show them a persona and ask things like, what would an AI need to know about this person to be truly helpful? And maybe more importantly, what could go wrong here?
So after all these workshops and interviews, what did they learn? What are the ingredients for a better, safer, more helpful mental health AI? They found three big themes. The first one was that contextual understanding is the core of personalization.
That means the AI has to go way beyond simple labels. It shouldn't just think, okay, this is a 13-year-old girl with OCD. It needs to ask questions to understand what OCD actually means for her life. Does it make homework harder? Does it affect her friendships? It needs to understand the why behind the what.
And that context changes. A teenager's life is incredibly dynamic. What was a huge problem last month might not be an issue today. The AI has to be able to adapt and keep up with their evolving situation.
The second big theme was the need for safety boundaries. This is so important. Everyone agreed the AI has to be crystal clear about what it is and what it isn't. It is not a doctor, it is not a therapist, and it is not a human.
The participants wanted the AI to be upfront about its limits. For example, it should be able to say, I'm an AI, so I can't understand exactly how you feel, but I can help you find resources or a real person to talk to. It has to know when to stop and refer a user to a helpline or a trusted adult.
And one of the most surprising findings, at least for me, was about tone. The participants didn't want an AI that faked empathy or was overly compassionate. They said it felt fake. They actually preferred a neutral, curious, and non-judgmental tone.
That's fascinating, and it connects directly to their third and final theme. The AI should act as a dialogic scaffold for reflection and autonomy.
That's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is simple. The AI's job isn't to give you answers. Its job is to ask you good questions that help you find your own answers. It acts like a scaffold, a supportive structure for your own thinking process.
So instead of saying, you should do this, it would ask, that sounds tough. What are some things you've tried in the past when you felt this way? Or, what matters most to you in this situation? It's all about empowering the young person to reflect and make their own choices.
The huge takeaway from this paper is that if we want to build technology that genuinely helps people, especially with something as personal as mental health, we can't do it in a vacuum. We have to bring in the lived experiences of the people who will actually be using it.
It provides a powerful roadmap for moving away from generic, one-size-fits-all AI towards tools that are safer, more relevant, and truly personalized. It's about designing with people, not just for them.
A brilliant study that feels more necessary every day.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening to Daily Papers.